smiling like an idiot. It's the first time I ever told someone I had a crush on that they're handsome. Okay, so this story is actually hilarious in some ways, and I definitely felt some embarrassment at multiple points. For the first time in my life, I think I may have felt like the main character. So basically, I told this guy who I thought looked nice that he was handsome and that he had really pretty eyes. And the funny thing is, I thought I would not see him again. And so nothing to worry about, right? Boy, was I wrong. Okay, so I work at my school university, and it was on this bright, sunshiny morning that Mr. Trey, we'll call him Mr. Trey, walked into my workplace. I work in a computer lab where students come to print, use the computer, stuff like that. And so yeah, no one was in the lab as yet. And the computer lab that I was working in is like completely glass. It's part of the library, which is kind of a lot of glass, so you could see like anyone who comes in. So I saw when Mr. Trey walked in, and I smiled, and I was like, oh, it's that nice looking guy. And I just went back to my work. So I don't know how long it was after that. When I heard this knock, I think I was like confused too, because that door that they were knocking on is usually open. And I was wondering, like, why the heck were they knocking if that door is usually open? So I got up and I went, and I found that the door was actually locked. And what do you know? It was Mr. Trey that was knocking. So we stood there chatting for a little bit. And I said, hey, your eyes are really pretty, and you are very handsome. And he said, thank you. And yep, that was it. I was smiling like an idiot afterwards because I'd never done something like that in my life. And it really didn't bother me, because after he told me that this was going to be his last semester, I just assumed that I wouldn't see him again. I think I was secretly patting myself on the back saying, girl, look at you. You did something that you think is absolutely crazy and requires a lot of guts. Even if it was the result of a lack of sleep because you're an architecture student. You did it, girl. Anyway, I just thought that I would not see this guy again, and I had nothing to worry about because this was going to be his last semester. And then the next day I got really teary-eyed when I thought about it, and I was like holding on to my teddy bears and like really going through it. I think it was the stress of the end of the semester also. You know that video on social media where it's like you having a bad day, right? And then it's just that one extra thing, like you go and you drink you pour out a cup of water, and then the water just turns over. It was like, this is all I needed. I just needed my glass of water to turn over after a long day. I think I was just really bothered by the fact that the people in my life just seem to be seasonal. Like, they're only around for a season. I'm not sure if that's good or bad, but I think it's more good than bad. By the way, this is me later that day projecting my proposed site for my architecture project onto the wall so I could get a big drawing of it. 2 folders. I should get a third one in case someone needs one. So I had assignments for this one class that I needed to submit in person. So I went on campus the following week to carry that in. Got some folders. They have bands. Oh, that's cute. So I got 2 folders, 3 folders actually from chapter 1. And I also got this nice wristband. I'm gonna go to the library, get my work done. It's due like 7 p.m. tonight. I'm a little bit on edge here, and I'll explain. Okay, later. So as I'm saying in this clip here, I'm a little bit on edge. I'm about to go in the library, and we all know the last time I was in this library, I kind of had one of those confession moments. The funny thing is, our majors are completely different, so it was like once in a blue moon that I would see Mr. Trey. How pretty is it, y'all? Y'all, this is the moment when I froze, okay? This is the moment when I said, what? No way. Girl, yeah, because the moment I froze was the moment I saw Mr. Trey. Yo, I walked in complete disbelief over to the spot where I usually go to sit and study in the library. And I walked right past Mr. Trey. He was dressed in a nice white dress shirt, some dark pants, and some nice shoes. Here. This is... Yo, my face in this clip. It took me a good while to like gather myself. I was shook. I won't lie to you, I was shook. I was like, I can't believe I went out here and did this big time confession as if there was a 0.0% chance that I would never see him again and not be completely embarrassed. So I soon got to know that he was here for a final presentation and he and his group were practicing. With the exception of me and two other students, I think Mr. Trey and his group has the entire floor to themselves because it's the end of the semester and nobody is on campus. So they were just over there practicing their presentation. Yo, I'm looking at this camera like I did my work, but I can't tell you the number of times I was distracted and looked over there. After some time, the group got up and left, and I almost went over there and said, "Hey, good luck with your presentation." But I wasn't trying to embarrass myself any further. So in my head, I was like, okay, that was probably definitely the last time I saw him. And as before, I didn't really feel the best. And so I offered up a little prayer for peace. No, I prayed for peace, okay? And even though it was a little sad, I was like, okay, that's it, that's all. So I left the library sometime later to get some lunch. I got me some juicy wings and 2 sides of plantain because I didn't want any rice. When I left the cafeteria, it was starting to spry, so I put my hood over my head and ran back to the library. Yeah, when I walked past the front desk, there was no security to show my ID too, so I just let myself in. It was after I came through the security section that I looked up and saw Mr. Trey. And the guy was just sitting there in the computer lab, the same computer lab where I just made my confession a few days ago. And he was like, and I was like, no, it was really that quiet. I'm sure you heard the crickets. So he waves and I made it awkward and didn't wave back. And then I went inside the computer lab where he was and we started chatting like we chat every day. I said, "You look great in white." And he said, "Thank you." I asked him how the presentation went and he said, "It went okay." And then he probably was thinking like, "Geesh, why is she wearing this hood on her head? Is it raining outside?" And I said, "Yeah, it's bright." And I'm telling you, all the while, I was like, this guy has the prettiest gray blue eyes ever.